When the rhythm hits that beat, bet your body join it too. Take your seat, clap your hands, take your seat, stomp your feet. Feel the time from head to ground. Let it move you when it hits. Take your seat, clap your hands, take your seat, stomp your feet. This ain't classic, this is real. This is high transformation feel.
Oh my God. You know, I never get tired of that song. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Facebook family, YouTube family. Welcome back to another episode of the S.I.T podcast. One with your girl, Sabrina. Michelle is not in tonight. We will miss her, but she will be back with us next week.
Yes.
But we do have Mr. Terry Benjamin in the studio
I'm glad to
sitting
be
in her
here.
seat.
I'm so glad to be here.
Terry! And of course, the illustrious, none other than our Natasha McCartney is online with us today. Hey, Tosh.
Hey, family. I love those drum beats.
Oh, my God. It is so good to be back. Facebook family, YouTube family, let me know you are with us tonight. If you are, please share this live with a family, a friend. Tell them to come on in and listen to tonight's session because it's going to be a good one. And always remember to click and subscribe. All right. So if you guys remember, last week we did a prom sponsorship. We sponsored Crystal for her prom. It was amazing. It was memorable. And I can't talk about it enough. And again, I want to thank everybody who was involved in the process, who volunteered their time. But this week, we are here this week. Terry, how was your weekend?
It was very, very good. As I was saying before, I got a chance to see the Michael Jackson movie.
Woo!
As a matter of fact, I brought the movie. I mean, it's amazing to me that the way is now. The movie is in the theater 1 month, and the next month is streaming. And so I had a watch party with my family, and we had a really good time. Enjoyed the movie and a lot of things about the mind in that movie.
Oh, wow. And we're going to talk about the mind, too.
Yes.
Everything today is moving at breakneck speed. So
Yes.
saddle up, everybody. So you had a good time with the family?
Yeah, we had a good time. And again, like I said, it was very convenient. But again, I think with this particular topic is really important. And I just want to share this quick quotation here. And it says here, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And that is, of course, from Napoleon Hill. And this is from a book entitled Think and Grow Rich. But this was written in 1937.
Wow.
But it's
I
still,
like
still
that
relevant.
quote. Yeah.
The mind.
Well, I have that book. I didn't know
I
it was
do
that
too.
old, Terry.
Yes. It's a classic. It's a classic.
Yeah.
I have it, too.
But
Wow.
it definitely changed my mind about a lot of things.
Think and grow rich.
Yeah.
Terry, you made mention that the party was for family. I don't remember getting my invite, Terry.
Oh my goodness!
Got to be okay.
I'm
Never
sorry.
mind, Terry.
Well,
Just what?
No. It was my brother's birthday.
Wait a minute now, y'all. He getting in my personal space. Oh, nice, very nice. I'm glad you had a good time, Tasha.
Thank you.
How was
Yeah.
your weekend?
Look, I am too blessed to be stressed. My weekend was amazing. I'm still a little discombobulated. I don't know how I got through work today off the Knicks high.
Oh, Nick
man.
Nation.
Yes, Nick Nation is in the house. I was so anxious about that game on Saturday. I had to take a shower. You know, I don't know if the S.I.T podcast viewers and family members know my favorite outfit is my pajamas, right? So that's where
We
I
know
feel
now.
warm and fuzzy.
now, right?
Yeah, so I had to take a shower, put my pajamas on, and literally I had to watch the game from my bed. So
wow.
my husband's downstairs with the TV loud. I have my TV on mute because I could hear it. And we didn't watch the game together. That's how anxious we both were. So every time I thought something that wasn't going our way, I put the covers over my head and then
Oh, my
stroll
goodness.
on the phone, and it was wild. And then he came up because he thought I was asleep, right? So the last 5 minutes, he was like, I didn't know you were still watching the game. I was like, of course I'm watching the game. So he cut the TV off downstairs and we watched the last 5 minutes together. But it's really interesting, right? Because he's a ball player and he's been a ball player his entire life. Yeah, he has his little accolades here and there. I could spend a whole show talking about those. But nevertheless, he couldn't even sit down. He was literally pacing back and forth in the room.
Oh my
You could
God.
have kept that anxious energy downstairs because I'm in the bed trying to regulate over here. So I think this show is perfect for what we need to talk about and how we manage our body, mind, and spirit. And I'm so happy to have our guest today. I wanted her. She was here before. She came before you guys.
She's a friend to the
so
show.
It's a way to introduce her. You would know she is definitely a friend to the show. And I wanted her to do her own show last time. So just again, I'm going to say thank you for coming back because I really am going to enjoy today's show.
Yes. Hey, Tasha, when was the last time the Knicks won a championship?
At 1973, 53 years ago. That's my age.
I wasn't
so
born yet.
A couple of months. No, yeah. Look, I was. So I was only. If the season lasted the same amount of time, and maybe Terry, you could let us know this because I think I was only a couple of months old. So maybe that's why I got Nick Nation in my blood because I was there and spirit and didn't remember.
Yeah.
That's something maybe I could unlock a little later. Like, what was your experience the first time they won?
Yeah.
Because my father was a ball player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you remember. Yeah. You know my father
I was
played
watching
ball.
it with one of we were living in Queens at the time, and I was watching it with one of my good guy friends. He passed away, God bless his soul. I miss him a lot. But I just remember when they won, how we just jumped up and hugged each other because we were so excited. But you said, it's been so
energy.
long. Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations, Nick, into all the Nick Nations.
But they never gave up, and the fans never forsake them. And the fans were still there.
This was a perfect team to represent New York because they fought back and they earned that. It wasn't no paid for kind of championship. They earned that championship, and I think people will forever respect this team.
Yeah. Good stuff. My weekend was pretty quiet. I did go to a few events this weekend, but nothing, we went to yesterday we went to a brunch in Rahway given by, in fact, this podcaster that comes on Thursday, The Mind That Pays You. I hope I'm saying that right, Monique, please forgive me, but she comes on Thursdays and she gave a brunch yesterday and it was excellent. We had a good networking event. So had fun then. Oh, and Michelle's daughter, she teaches dance, and so Saturday, her dance school had a 10-year anniversary, and it was amazing. I mean, from the young kids to the old kids, I was mesmerized through the whole event, and it was. I was glad I was there. It was at the State Theater. It was perfect. And that was my weekend, but I'm mostly looking forward to the weekend that's coming up. Oh, we can talk about that on Monday, Tasha.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Okay, I will stop. Okay, so today's topic, ladies and gentlemen, Facebook family, YouTube family, are you out there? Are you ready for this? Hey, Shelly, it girl. It is always good to see my family online. We love you. We are so happy that you have joined us. Tonight's topic. Have you ever wondered why you repeat certain patterns, struggle with self-doubt, find it difficult to break chains and habits? Tonight we are exploring the power of the subconscious mind and how it may be shaping the lives without even realizing it. So Facebook family, YouTube family, buckle in because the conversation is about to get good. We are going to go into the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. And how that all impacts our daily lives. Hey, Felicia! She said, hey, SIT podcast. All right, let's jump right in. So let's talk about the conscious mind, Tasha, Terry, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. Woo! When I delve into this, it was really, really deep, right? Because you really don't think of your mind as having these three parts and how critical they are. And what I realized was that your conscious mind is the things you have to think about, right? What am I going to wear today? What am I going to eat today? So it really takes some level of effort in the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is a little bit different, right? It is things you do naturally because you know how to do them.
Right,
So it
right.
doesn't take any effort. Like if I'm driving, it's so funny. When I used to work before I retired, I'm retired now. Terry, did I tell you that?
Yes,
I'm
yes,
retired.
yes, you're retired.
Okay. So, but going home, you'd be like, well, how did I get home? You just know it.
Like on autopilot.
That's your subconscious mind. You know to put your step on the brakes. But now the unconscious mind, that's like the warehouse of everything. It was really, really interesting when I thought about the unconscious mind, because that's where we house the trauma. And when the triggers happen, we draw from that unconscious mind to help us deal with it. So
That's right.
if I'm using this as an example, if I'm in a relationship, I want a relationship, and as the person is getting close to me, I sabotage it. That's because the unconscious mind is bringing up some old stuff that is trying to warn me. That person is going to hurt you. That person is going to abandon you. So that unconscious mind is really, really a treasure trove of some good and some bad. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we go along. And then I brought up some examples of what the unconscious mind, subconscious mind, and the conscious mind look like.
Okay.
So the conscious mind, when you first learn to drive, that's the conscious mind. That's the first steps, the first layer of the house. That's your hands on 10 and 2 when you're driving. That's checking your mirrors, right? Because this is intentional. It's watching traffic. It's thinking about every action. That's that conscious mind. That's the first layer. The subconscious mind, after years of driving, you drive automatically. You know when to brake. You know when to turn. That behavior becomes a habit. Then there's the unconscious mind. Ooh. Suddenly a child runs into the street. Your heart start racing. Your adrenaline surge. You slam on the brakes. The unconscious mind activates survival mode instantly. Interesting, right? Tasha, I wanted to go into, before we introduce this amazing guest, I want to go into the mental health and emotional wellness of these thought patterns. What is the connection between mental health and emotional wellness when it comes to the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind?
Good question.
Well, first of all, what we'll say is just remind our audience what this difference between mental health and emotional wellness is.
Yes.
So mental health includes how we think, how we cope, how we process stress. Oh Lord, where my brain at? How we
Did you say
process
sex?
stress. No, how I said stress. How we-
Sean, run, Sean.
I heard stress.
Right. And I'll manage our day to day. And emotional wellness is about recognizing, understanding it, and managing our emotion in healthy ways.
Yes.
So an example of that is you could be functioning well at work and doing great and meeting all your responsibilities, but you still feel overwhelmed, anxious, or disconnected inside from the job, right?
Yes.
So when we think about them in that framework, I would like to start with the unconscious mind, because it's because of the unconscious mind and all of the research that has been done on that by our forefather, Mr. Sigmund Freud, is why I have a job.
Yep.
Right? Because when he started delving into this back in the early 1900s, that's what he was looking for. He was trying to understand what has happened to people to make them act in certain ways and believe certain things and think certain ways and speak about certain things. So when you think about the unconscious mind, it's like, again, if you're in a job and maybe you've been terminated for something and you don't really know why, because sometimes you come to work and they sit you down and they say, okay, we no longer need you, and then you go, you're skilled at what you do, you know you're educated about what you do, and you go look for another job. That experience of being terminated with the level of uncertainty is going to register in your unconscious mind.
Yes.
And then what will happen is your subconscious is the processor, right? I'm going backwards from how Sabrina started because it will make sense, right? So with the work that I do. So then your subconscious actually spend lots and lots of time from the time you got terminated to the time you found another job trying to process it all, right? So what happened? What woulda, coulda, shoulda is what happened in your subconscious subconscious mind. What should I do next time? How should I act next time? And so you register all of that there, and then you go into the new job with your unconscious mind and your subconscious mind, and may change all of your day-to-day interactions and your behaviors.
Yeah.
That may be a positive, it may be a negative,
Yep.
right? Because sometimes having self-awareness and going through all of those processes will help you change behaviors that's for the best. But when you don't really process them through your having a mental health and dealing with your emotional awareness, you can process from a self-sabotaging place. And then
Yes.
you have people who stay at a job, at least I know people, with the work I do, who can't keep a job past 18 months and they don't know what's
They don't
happening.
know why. Right. That's that.
And so my job is to help them to figure that out
Yes. I
by
love it.
delving into these different areas. And, there's a saying in therapy that I usually start out with people, because like Sigmund Freud, I believe the same thing. I came into this field thinking that's what's wrong with people, but really what happened to you?
Right.
Like, things have happened to us. I don't think no one listened to this podcast, or no one will ever dispute that we as individuals are product, good, bad, or indifferent, of what our life experiences have been.
Yes.
And so that's where this all plays out, and these three different distinct areas of our brain. Now, whether people want to talk about it is another thing, but I don't think anybody will dispute that. So when you think about what has happened to you, these are the places that you want to go. And there's one thing that I like to say is that this represents the subconscious mind. Sometimes we don't even know what we don't know.
We don't know what we don't know. It is powerful. And and the other thing, Tasha, so when we think about our lives, right, if we can go over our lives and realize that the way we're living is programming, right? We're parent oriented people, so we follow patterns, right? So you may have a person who their money's a little bit funny, I'm gonna use that terminology, but the messaging that they've been receiving and the patterns they've been living is listening to their parents. Money don't grow on trees. And so we have an amazing guest here today who's going to help us talk about some of those patterns and how do we break them. So I want to introduce Megan Thorpe. Megan is a hypnotherapist. She's the CEO of HypnoShift and co-founder of the SAP House. She helps individuals transform their lives by shifting the subconscious patterns, releasing internal blocks, and creating lasting change from within. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Hey! Thank you.
Megan, we are so happy to have you back. Many people go through life, like Tasha said, you don't know what you don't know. We live patterns because we've been programmed unconsciously. We don't realize, and we're going to talk about hypnotherapy in a minute, but even in our daily lives, we are being programmed, right? By the things we watch on television, by the things we see in social media, by the things we live with our caretakers and the people around us. It's all programming.
Correct.
And so some of it may be good, some of it may not be good, right?
Right.
But your purpose is to help people move past some of those negative patterns that may be holding them back. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. That was amazing. But I kind of view myself as like a subconscious recoder. I'm really interested in helping people sort of move past their limitations. I know I'm a person that has many, and I've overcome a lot. So this work is like really like near and dear to my heart. So
I want to throw out another example. And I said it earlier, it's 3 layers. You have the conscious mind. Tasha broke it down for us. We have the subconscious mind, and we have the unconscious mind. And this example is with money. The conscious mind says, I want financial freedom. That's what we're saying to ourselves. The subconscious mind, because of our programming, is saying money, even though we want financial freedom, the subconscious mind is saying money is hard to earn. People like me never get rich, right? That's the subconscious mind now talking to layer 1. So now we have the protector that says fear of loss and survival concerns may trigger stress, avoidance, or self-sabotage. The result, the conscious goal and subconscious beliefs are working against each other. So even though I may want financial freedom, my subconscious mind and the messaging I've been sending to myself is not going to really allow me to do it, because I still have that programming that I need to work on to change the way that I think about it.
Correct. Yeah. I think in hypnotherapy, we call that the critical mind. It's sort of like the gatekeeper to the subconscious mind. So if you are trying to change a behavior and you haven't necessarily gone in deep to reorganize that belief system, then your critical mind is sort of sitting at the gate like, oh, we know quitting smoking, we need to do that, but we like it, right?
Right.
So it's, it can block progress for sure. So, getting around it is pretty important. So when you're trying to change things within the subconscious. Yeah.
And, and a lot of people don't believe in hypnotherapy, right? There's some beliefs that are just, and that's, people are who they are, we don't want to change them. But what can you say to speak to that? Because, like I said, we're getting programmed every day regardless. Right. Tell us a little bit about the process of hypnotherapy that may put somebody at ease. And what it does.
Yeah. So, the state of hypnosis, number one, is like a supernatural state. It is something that is with us all the time. It's like 30 minutes before bed. There's that wide openness, and then 30 minutes when you wake up, when you're driving. All of these things sort of put us in that lullaby state. So it's very natural. I think people get afraid is when they think that they're going to lose control.
Right.
I think that they don't understand that. I just don't think they understand what it's like to be in that state. But really, it's something that is quite natural. You're in it all day long, in and out. So that's one thing. Another thing is that it's that state of mind where we can kind of get the mind to really quiet down. Once we get the mind to quiet down, that's when we can start working,
Right.
Yeah. So
I like that. And I have to be honest, and Terry, I don't know if you've ever tried meditation.
Oh, all the time.
Let me tell you something. At night, before I actually go to sleep, I do a meditation. It is euphoric. It is like, I swear, one time I think I quantum leaped, because it takes you places that is just awesome.
Yeah, well, you probably did quantum leap.
No, I mean, I start my day with a meditation before I'm fully awake. I meditate. I just lay there in bed and do one of these, and I just clear my mind and then just relax. And sometimes I look at my whole day. I plan my whole day. But the thing is, like you said, you have to really calm yourself down. Yeah. Because and sometimes in psychology called the monkey mind.
Yes,
exactly. You got to get that monkey mind. You got to tame that monkey mind and say, okay, you know what? I'm just going to focus on something. And you can do a walking meditation.
Seriously.
When I get some time, I walk in the park.
And hypnosis. Hypnosis is very similar to a meditative state.
Yes.
It's just, you would just go a step further and just begin to speak to yourself in that state, and that's what we consider like self-hypnosis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so you can do self-hypnosis as well. So I come to you because I want this to be in a hypnosis state, right? What can I look forward to? Now, do I have to be specific on what I want to change or what I want to see different? And then you work solely on that. Like, let's say, I don't know, I want to be a billionaire. Is that something you focus on solely?
Yeah. So I forget, we have something called like the reptilian brain or something, right? But there's, at the base of the brain, there's something that causes us to recognize certain opportunities. So in that case, if you want to be a billionaire, what I would do is begin to get you to recognize the opportunities that will sort of kind of get you to that place. So that way they kind of light up to you, like, you know, and then it's easier to choose. Like, okay, maybe this network event might get me to meet someone. You know, I'll probably choose that over like hanging out with my friends, right?
Right.
So yeah, so definitely, you do have to come in with an intention. You know, I think that's the only way to get to achieve the goal is to have an actual goal set. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
That's beautiful.
So you hear that, YouTube family, Facebook family, we've already been programmed. If you want a different program, hypnotherapy might be the way to go, because it puts you in a state, and then the messaging that is now feeding you is different than the messaging you've been hearing.
Correct.
You can rewrite the story. The story doesn't have to remain the same.
Yeah, it doesn't. And you have a question here that I'd like to share with Megan. This question is, can childhood experiences continue to affect us decades later?
Well, absolutely. I think the mind of a child is extremely fertile. And the critical mind doesn't even, or the unconscious mind, or whatever we want to call it, doesn't even begin to talk to you until after you're about 8 years old. So, you know, before the age of 8, you know, anything that we experience, we can carry it along with us, you know, for the rest of our lives. I think that it kind of hardwires some of our beliefs and our fears.
Yes.
But it's, of course, you know, it's not hardwired. We can always change it, you know.
Tasha, what do you say to that? The what we bring in from childhood, we know forms our lives. Psychotherapy, we know works. How do you think these two work in tandem, the psychotherapy and the hypnosis?
Great question, but I just want to make sure I have right information because I'm learning today too. So, Megan, when you guys talk about the critical mind and hypnosis, you talk about the unconscious mind, not the subconscious mind.
Yes, correct.
Okay, got
We
it. I
just
just wanna
have
make
a
sure I got my
different
language
terminology.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Right. And so now how does this merge in practice? What does this look like in real life, right?
Right.
So in real life, what I do is psychotherapy, which is a form of talk therapy. We are trained as the clinicians to employ different interventions, and one of what Megan does as a hypnotherapist is one of those interventions. And how it plays out is my job is to help clients understand what's going on, because people come to me and they just come to me because they don't feel well. That's
Right.
it. You can't, well, maybe you could go to Megan. Maybe you could talk about that. If somebody just walk in your office and say, Megan, I don't feel well, help me. I don't know what Megan would do with that, but I know what I would do with that, right? So what I would start doing is really trying to understand consciously where you're at, right?
What does that mean? I don't feel well.
Feel well, right? Some people don't even know what that means. I have to. You guys know early on in season one,
you gotta pull
I
out
brought
the
out
wheel,
the feelings
the pill,
pillow.
yeah.
Yes, we got to bring out the pillow, right? Then I got to ask people. You know, I got to ask people where is it at in their body. They say all over. I'm like, come on now, it
You
can't
feel
be
it
all over.
somewhere,
If it's
yeah,
all
yeah.
over, we in
Let's be
trouble,
more
right?
specific,
But
yeah.
sometimes for some people it is all
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Okay. And then through a line of questioning and whatever intervention I use, whether it be cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, which is very close to what Megan through, trauma informed cognitive behavioral therapy, different interventions in the room that I use people. I give them assignments about, well, tell me about your family. I'm not just talking to you. When I'm asking you a question, I'm trying to gain information.
Right.
To open up the subconscious mind, right?
Right.
And then if I get close enough to the unconscious mind, because sometimes that's just where I stop, because people, again, don't know what they don't know. And I've been doing this work for over 30 years. Many of my clients are repeated clients, right? Because if I stop with them at the subconscious mind and get them to understand what's happening in their conscious mind day to day, they feel better. They make different decisions. I get them to change belief systems. I
Yeah.
get them to understand where those belief systems come from. So they feel like, oh, this is good. You know, okay, Natasha, I'm good. I'll see you later. They come back when they start to really live life and go into their unconscious mind, because then they say, oh, wait, I think Natasha talked to me about this before, but now this is coming up for me and I don't understand it. So I think when Megan talked about the child mind is very fragile, that's a stage of development I educate all my clients about. And I always ask them, when do you have your first memory? Because
Yeah.
while you consciously should not have memories before the age of 8. I usually do like 0 to 7. Most people do because that's the first time they probably have had adverse interaction that stuck the memory. So people always talk about, I don't remember the happy times, but I can remember the bad times, right? It all depends. So I think that's where we intertwine.
Yeah.
And I just thought I would share this with Megan. I don't know if I shared this with you guys on the phone when we were setting up for this session today, but I actually had a client come to me, and she was all of, and excuse my French, and I've said this to her before because she's so much better now. This is about 4.5 years ago. She was hella messed up. Like, I'm telling you. And she agrees with it. She
Right.
would literally, the first session I had from her, she ran into a corner and put a pillow, a cover over her.
Aw.
And I said, oh no, I'm going to need help. Right? I'm going to need help. And so I worked with her that day just to see if there was a connection. And then I secretly, I was hoping that she didn't connect with me because I said, this is a lot of work. And I'm trying to retire. Everybody in my life know I want to retire. Megan, don't laugh at me. I'm a truth and honest. I love the work I do, but I've been doing it for 30 years. I want the easy case. I want the relationship case, how to make me better in my relationship. My kids went off to college. I got empty nest syndrome. I'm looking for those cases. I know what that looked like, running in the corner, putting the cover over you. In my 20s, I had time for that. So what I worked with her after a couple of sessions of seeing that, I really educated her on what was happening. She was having all type of thoughts in her mind. Her body was acting all crazy. So she had to get into the fetal position to even just speak to me. Right. So I told her we need help. And so a hypnotherapist was on the list. But before we got to that, I said, you need to find a somatic therapist. Somatic therapy is another specialist that work with the body. And I sent her, even though I'm trained in this, but I can't do everything. I'm very clear about that. I sent her to a therapist who do EMDR, which is it's bilateral stimulation to help the mind process difficult experiences.
Right,
So
right.
it's
I love
along the
EMDR.
lines what Megan do as well. So I just say that. So all of these different specialties are very, very helpful. It's not a one fit all situation.
Right.
And if you think about psychotherapy or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, because that's the world I work in, I would think that we're like the PCPs and Megan is like the specialist.
Right.
So you come to us to do all the general stuff, and we rule out all of this, and then we find out if you need to go to a specialist. But anybody who hasn't been in therapy but they have some self-awareness can go with Megan and meet her as well, because I'm sure Megan
I
has
love
her
that.
own assessment. That's why I said, Megan, I want you to speak to the people who come and say, Megan, I don't know what to do, fix me. What do you do with those clients?
Well, yeah,
'Cause
just
that's
like
important.
you definitely do have to make an assessment. And if I find
Okay,
anything that needs to be referred out, if I find like a mental illness or something like that, then definitely we need a therapist to be a part of the treatment. And I probably wouldn't even treat that person unless, they started with the therapist first.
Right.
And then you can come see me. And then I'd be a part of the treatment plan with the therapist. Yeah.
And I think that's what makes for a good professional too, being able to make those kind of decisions, right? Because if you were a person that say, you know what, I'll just treat them, I'll talk to them, I'll do this, the hypnotherapist, it'll work. Then to me, I'm like, so I'm so grateful that you do have you are able to figure out
Yeah.
the treatment plan that is overall healthy for the
Absolutely.
customer. I love that.
Yeah.
A lot of good stuff, Terry.
Yeah, and my question about the plan, is that for a certain time of the
treatment
therapy?
plan?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be for the entire time that we're working together. So sometimes it may be for 6 weeks. It just depends on what the issue is. It could be maybe they just see me that one day,
So Megan, if I smoke weed and I wanted to stop,
why would you want to stop?
she said, why would you want to stop?
Yeah.
If I smoke weed,
Look, and I'll add something to it. And I'm about to get a good job where you can't smoke weed. I come to Megan. Megan, help me stop smoking weed. How about that? That's a good question.
that is
Yes.
a question.
So in that
Even
case,
though I don't smoke
yeah,
weed.
you try to find out, obviously when someone's struggling the most with it, maybe it's a time of day, maybe it's certain things that, maybe they smoke before they eat, So we'd be looking at all of those things and trying to like hone in on how do you manage the cravings in those moments when you're, more vulnerable to, you know, messing.
And I think going back to a previous question about family, it seems that family and generational beliefs sort of feed into this as well.
Shapes us,
Yeah,
forms
it
us.
shapes
Yep.
us, yeah, because we only know, we only know what we know.
Right.
So how would you deal with that in terms of generational conditioning? How would you deal with that?
It has to be up to the individual. They have to be, even aware they're in, a family dynamic that is causing them issues. Because, or it's my job to uncover it. Maybe they don't know, and then once I talk to them and I find out that that's what's going on, and if it's something that needs a deeper,
Right.
guidance, then
Intervention.
that's when we transfer it out to a therapist. But I'm not specifically working on some of the really harder things with people. I mean, addictions, yes, that can be helped. But I'm more so interested in helping people like really overcome like those things that hold them back from moving on in life. So, yeah.
So I have trauma. My mother used to say, "I brought you in this world, and I'll take you out." And so, no, Billy. And so. And that's beautiful, right? But Megan, is it as simple as if I feel like I'm not enough in the area, hypnotherapy is you saying in that state, you are enough?
Yeah.
Like, is it as simple as that? Am I overthinking it? Is it more than that?
It can be more than that. Depends on what the person's belief systems are. Sometimes you may have to go in and figure it out because maybe they may be adverse to changing. You know, it could be something that they're holding on to and they're getting a reward from in ways that they don't understand. But so it may not be as simple. So sometimes you may have to speak to them in an indirect way or do an imagery journey or create a myth or something that isn't directly pointing at the situation that they want to change if there's some adversity to changing it.
I love this. Facebook family, YouTube family, I hope you are all listening to this. If you want change, there are so many resources out there. You have therapists, you have counselors, you have psychologists, you have hypnotherapists. There's no more excuses. The only excuse is going to be you not taking the first step. We can evoke change. And the change starts with ourselves.
Absolutely.
And there's plenty of people out there. I want to give another example of how the conscious, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind works. And I'm going to do it on relationships. So the conscious mind says, I want a healthy relationship. The subconscious mind says, I do not deserve love. People always leave. So again, those two battling, the conscious and the subconscious battling. But the unconscious mind, protective mechanism may create, if I'm trying to be in a relationship, fear of vulnerability, trust issues, and emotional walls. The person may unknowingly push away the very relationship that they desire. Tasha, what you think about that?
That's a good point.
That's actually true, right? That's the premise of what the work is. Like but healing is not a place where you go for judgment, but you start with curiosity, right? So if that was an example, somebody would come to you or me or what Megan would, we would want to institute curiosity. So like if you want a healthy relationship, but you don't feel like you deserve it,
Right.
what do you think is happening and your behaviors that get in your way? Because the subconscious is going to send the message. The unconscious is going to send the message to the subconscious to protect. So
Yes.
what behaviors? So I think that's when Megan talked about like the critical mind, and her job is to help people get out their own way because unknowingly they may have behaviors. And I love when she said behaviors that's serving them in a different way, right? So if I'm not worthy and I'm not deserving, people may get a reward from being alone. Talk about the reward system, right?
Yeah.
So even though they feel lonely at times, they may really like their alone time. So if you feel like you like your alone time all the time, but you want to be in a relationship, there's going to be a conflict there.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
So Megan may uncover that, oh, your alone time rewards you in so many ways. Let's work on that. And if I'm Megan, please correct me if I'm
you're
wrong.
right.
Let's work
Absolutely.
on that because you actually don't want to live the rest of your life alone. You actually want a committed partner.
And they may
because
want alone time because of trauma. Like, you never know, like,
Yes.
what's hiding
Yeah.
there, what makes them want to be alone, you know?
Right.
So, yeah,
Right, that unconscious
But you can't be in a
mind.
healthy relationship always alone because
Correct.
anybody who's want to be a healthy relationship is a partnership, companionship. They're going to want to go out. They're going to want to do things. And yeah, if you're not married, you don't live with the person. You're going to have your alone time. But even in a marriage, right? How do you preserve that? How do you understand your trauma, right? Because I think the myth about all of the work that we all do in here is that when you uncover it, it's supposed to heal. That's not necessarily the case.
Right.
Right. You
Yeah.
just need to be aware of it, right?
be aware of
so
it.
you can know how to manage
That's
it.
and
So
that's
I
a-
love my
And that's a
my
good
alone
start.
time.
Mhm.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. I love my alone time, but I've been living with a man for 34 years. So it's like, how you get alone time? You know what? Because he loves his alone time too. You
Right.
know?
But I think
You
that's
know,
healthy, though. I
That's
think it's
healthy.
healthy.
Oh yeah. When we were younger, he used to ride motorcycles, and everybody used to say, "Tasha, you let your man be out there. Women be out there on motorcycles, and he's so fine, and he got that bike, and that bike make him look good, and he a cop." I'm like, I sure do. Because first of all, I was not getting on no bike with Sean McCartney, number one, because that's like getting on a roller coaster with no seat strap, right? But secondly, you know what I loved about that? You know what kept me calm inside? Because that was his hobby. And when he was doing his hobby, I got to do my hobby. So I didn't have no insecurities about what he was doing. I was enjoying myself and my hobby. And I was sitting home reading a book.
Yeah. But I think that speaks to the healthiness of you as well.
Yes.
Because you get a lot of people that are like, no, I'm not. He not going by himself. We're going to ride together. You ain't riding no bike. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sean done
But
bought me about 3 helmets that I ain't never wore because he always wanted me to ride. I rode with that boy one time and I was like, oh, no, I'd rather be home reading my book. So that's going to be your long time of mine. But it's just like an example because if I had another belief system and because I just talked about one is fear by being on the bike with him and then the other in people perceived insecurity, right? But what if I did have an insecurity, but overall my fear? Now my body is learning not to trust my decision making.
right.
That's
Right.
So that's the difference.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well,
That's good.
Megan, in this discussion, what is the role of social media? Because we didn't always have social media.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it
And it's
affect everything?
influence.
Megan said, "Oh Lord."
In programming, right?
In programming, yes. Yeah.
Do you want me to go down there? So, I mean, the biggest currency on our planet right now is our attention. Social media, I mean, we have a device in our hand 24 hours a day. It's always there. It aims to program, it aims to control. It is a social sort of engineering
Yes.
instrument. So there. If you're looking at your social media all the time, then you're definitely taking in some unconscious programming or whatever the case may be. For sure.
Yeah, and so when you talk about social media and the algorithms, they know what you like,
know what you
right?
like, yes,
And they're gonna keep sending you material to what you look at the longest,
Which is dangerous.
which is dangerous, right? Because they're learning your behavior and your patterns.
That's right.
And what does it do? Keep you on that social media just a little bit longer. Advertising.
And it keeps you locked into like a specific subject.
Yep.
Like just because you're interested in that thing doesn't mean you want to live it all the time.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
But
if
they
you
make
go-
sure
every
you
time
do,
go
though.
in, you're gonna be prompted to be in that space. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what about
And then
advertising? They know
they know,
exactly like the colors to put in the advertising.
yeah.
They know to cater to the children in the advertising. And so more programming,
They've
right?
known that since like the third. They've written books. They know this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They know. Yeah,
Yeah,
the research is
100%.
hard evidence to show.
And
that.
so, but the point I was trying to make is, hey, Graham, so we can be programmed that way to live in that world of that programming that's not getting us anywhere but dumbing us down. And you know what? God forgive me. I am guilty because I get on my phone, right, and I'll just scroll, and then it's like sometimes you can't even formulate a complete sentence, and I'm like, but wait a minute, like I was like an A student, they wanted to skip me, and why can't I, and so it is addictive and dangerous at the same time, and so we could either do one or two things. We can continue on this path, right? And know it's not going to do anything to feed our mind, bodies, and soul and move us to anybody's next level. Or we can start to work on our inner world, and one of them being, you know what I'm saying?
Subconscious reprogramming.
Subconscious reprogramming so that we can do something different, be something different, live something different.
Absolutely.
If we want to. I mean, some people are happy the way they are.
It's a great tool, social media, as long as you're using it for a reason. If you're enriching yourself, it's wonderful. But if you're just, wasting time on it, then I think they got us down to a 6-second attention span.
Yes.
That's sad.
I'm sure that's effective for someone.
Yeah.
But not us.
And it's reflective even when you get off of social media, right? Because you ever have a phone call and then you shuffling papers or you just doing so many things at one time because you can't focus on one thing.
Right.
Which is...
Yeah, I know. It's a lot.
And it's only getting worse.
Yeah.
It is only getting worse.
But I think once we understand what we can do with our minds, because I think we have to control our minds. We know all this thing is going on in our mind, but like it said in the quote, conceive and believe and achieve.
Yes.
Now, it's a process. And we do have some agency over our minds, although sometimes we get off track. But I think, again, if we put something in our mind that we want to achieve, then we can do that. Because I think one of the things, just in the presence of you ladies, I get the sense that if we know what we want to do, we can really meditate, we can focus on that, and we can get that done.
Yes.
See, a lot of people think that we have no control over our minds, that our minds just go crazy. No, we, as a result of this conversation, I get the sense that we have agency over our minds, and we can control our minds in a very positive way.
We have total agency over, unless you have, a mental illness or something where you don't, but, we do. And it is us who steers the ship to our reality. This reality is a reflection of the things that we think and believe, right? And once we start to change our thinking and our believing, then our reality begins to shift. And like you said, you had your quantum shift, right?
I'm telling you, it was euphoric.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that meditation, two things that really I love is meditation and breath work.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. When you do breath work and you do it properly, it brings up just so much.
It does.
It's amazing.
It's
I don't
amazing.
understand the mechanism with how breath work works, but it is. It's amazing.
And it's hard sometimes if you're doing it right, because sometimes you feel like you're getting dizzy and you're going to pass out. But if you push through that, it is like, wait, what?
I have to try that.
Ooh.
I've heard amazing
We
things.
get my book, ladies and gentlemen, Rediscovering Your Worth. If you do not, if I don't tell you anything else tonight that is resonating with you, get the book, Rediscovering Your Worth. Really read it and do the things that is in that book. And I promise you, your life will begin to change.
Well, I bought my copy.
You did?
So,
I had a young lady come up to me yesterday. She was like, oh my God, I bought your book. And I started reading it. And she said, it is so good. And keep reading it.
Yes, ma'am.
Keep reading it. Tasha, I know we answered this already, but I just want you to dive in it one more time. Can people unknowingly, and we talked about it just recently with the relationship, sabotage themselves through repeated negative thoughts?
Yes, because one of the things that's happening, like in terms of like looking back at the social media, right? If this is all you're consuming, your subconscious will begin to relive those patterns, and depending on the amount of consumption you have and how vulnerable you are, you actually will believe it's true. And so if you can, if there's some conditioning that has been done unknowingly, and you then start to believe stuff is true, then you will act on that, right? So, let's just talk about like some of these groups out here. I actually have examples of it. Myself, I wind up, when I was younger, me and Sean been together 34 years. So not everybody around me always was married or are married. And I remember I was hanging out with a group of girls, and they were like man bashing. And I'm just hanging out with the group of girls doing, it. And then I came in the house annoyed, right? So the subconscious and unconscious was at work because my conscious mind is, I ain't got nothing to male bash. Anybody who know my husband know he's the greatest man on earth, right? And I don't just say that because anybody who know him, right, and who've interacted with him, he will take care of you if you are in his space. Everybody loves him, right? So you either love him or hate him, right? But most people love him, right? So I came in the house annoyed, and he was minding his own business, and I started picking with him. And then I had to laugh at myself. I was like, oh, you can't hang out with that group no more. And that's a matter of, and I'm just being honest, a matter of hanging out with them for one evening, thinking you're getting some girl time, and then that one evening with probably a little bit of alcohol, probably back then I probably did have a couple of drinks. You could see how that information started to seep through, my unconscious came in saying, well, I don't want him to be like what they talking about. So my subconscious said, well, you better go ignore him and make sure he right so that my conscious mind could get everything I need. In reality, I was getting all I need. He's right just the way he was.
Right.
Yes. So here I'm going, taking on other people's stuff in my unconscious mind, like you don't want him to turn out like that because you don't want to lose him. So that was my fear of losing him, because some of them stories I was hearing, he would have been out my door if he tried to stumble that type of stuff, right? So I came in trying to move.
You were being conditioned, Tasha?
Yes, I was. What you think? I just told y'all the story, Megan. What you think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You were being conditioned.
Listen, just leaving the TV running and you not watching it, you don't know what's getting like.
Getting in you. That's why it's killing you, right, Megan? I love it. I love it. Yeah,
it is. This world is something and I like the fact that you did a little introspect. Because sometimes we have to look in, right?
We have to.
We can't always point the finger. At some point, we have to take accountability and we have to look inward. And I wish more people would get that. So much stuff is going to go on around us in the world, but how we react to it is really up to us.
I think it takes a certain amount of emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because we talk about a lot of times the IQ, high IQs and whatnot, but I think that the emotional intelligence is because the IQ will get you the job, that the emotional intelligence will have you keep the job and to move up in the job.
I feel like that's what Natasha's for. That's what a therapist is for.
Yeah.
If we don't have that emotional intelligence, then we go to therapy, right?
Yeah. That's really big.
I hope, Megan.
I hope.
My thing is everybody could benefit from it. Even like everybody could benefit from hypnotherapy, right?
Yes.
This is something to help you, like, especially I love this conversation we're having, because I don't think people realize how they are programmed, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, again, so we bring in like childhood, TV, social media, walking the same path every day down the street, staying in communities that's insular communities.
Right. Yep.
Right? These insular communities, and everybody got the same ideal and no one has a different ideal. And so I really love this conversation, because I think we're fortunate when we do this work, people like Megan and I, because usually we get the people who eventually slip out.
Yes.
But what about all the people who stay in it?
Right.
Or think they okay, or what they've been doing work because it got them to this far, as opposed to unlocking. When I think about hypnosis, I think about unlocking the potential that you have, but you can't get to it.
Yes. I love that. That is beautiful. Hey, Tasha and Megan, and I'm going to go to Megan first. I want both of you to answer this question. How do we recognize beliefs that are not truly our own? What are some of the telltale signs?
Well, when you are living in your truth, you don't have anxiety. Like you don't. You have things that come up. Like I was scared before the podcast, but you don't have.
Are you scared now?
No,
girl, you're family now. We gotta.
You don't have that inner tension and turmoil. When you're living your truth, is when you are trying to live your truth, but then you have like your mother said this and your friend said this. Then you start having that tension within. I think that's a telltale sign of when you're not living your truth.
Tasha, what do you say?
I agree with Megan. One of the questions that I always ask people because sometimes a therapist can recognize what's going on with a person before they can, but it's not our job to tell them.
Right,
So we got to
right.
use our skill sets to get them there so they could be like, oh, I got
So
this
they could
breakthrough
tell them,
moment.
so
Like,
they
oh,
could figure it
yes.
out themselves.
Right. So one of the things that we do use, and this is actually from EMDR, a resource a skill set that we use from EMDR, is we'll ask them if they keep repeating something over and over, and you can see that's where the internal tension is. I'll ask them, slow down a little bit. Who voices that?
Right.
And sometimes people look at me like we're crazy, like Natasha. I thought we come to you to stop hearing voices.
Yeah.
That's a side joke. I got a lot of humor out here, but I say stop. Who voices that? So
Right.
just like Megan said, they will come up and be like, "Oh my God, that's my dad's voice. That's my mother's voice. That's my
Yes.
second grade
Yes.
teacher." And then again, I just want us to be clear here on the podcast because it is Sisters Inspiring Transformation. Understand that this information that we're giving out on both ends is not always from a negative place. There's positive voices that happen as well.
Yes.
And those are the strengths that people like Megan and I use to get to the other stuff, to clean up the gunk.
Right.
So I ask people when they say positive things, well, tell me who voices that and bring that resource back. How did it make you feel when they say that? How, do you feel connected to that person still? I have a lot of education points of reference that I go through. I was educated very differently throughout the public school system just because what was going on at the time, the experiments that they were doing with children of color, the smarter children of color. But I have a lot of points of reference where I got information that I still carry with me. So
and some
even
of it is
though
good too,
Yes.
Yeah.
So to piggyback off of what you said, it's important to see how the client talks to themselves because those positive words that they use are the exact ones that I want to give back to them because that's their language,
Yeah.
Oh my God. This conversation is so good and it's so more to unpack, but we are really running out of time and I don't know that I want to go just yet. But you know what? I'm so grateful that we did have Megan come on the show. And Megan, we're going to bring you back. You're a friend to the family. Because our goal, like Tasha said, we are sisters in inspiring transformation. And that's all we truly want to do. We want to give people the information to the resources and just to know you can live life in a different and more productive way. You can get to the next level. But you got to start. And starting is recognizing that maybe someone else could help you get to that next level. I don't care whether it's a therapist, a hypnotherapist,
whatever.
It takes a community.
I just want to say one thing. This is from Les Brown. He said, "You ask for help not because you're weak, but you ask for help because you want to stay strong."
Yes.
And I think the work that you ladies are doing is all about that, and I thank you. I thank you for that.
Yeah. Listen, don't forget to.
Are we gonna do the wait? Do we? I think we still got a few minutes. We're gonna do the mindset challenge.
Let's do it. You started out.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So all right. So I'm gonna present a negative statement, and Megan, you're gonna transform that into a powerful belief. So
I love that. That's good.
So I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. So you transform that into a powerful belief, an powerful belief.
I'm not good enough.
So when you mean what do you mean by transforming? Like, is there?
What could we say to make it positive?
Right. Or if I came to you with that and said, I'm unworthy, I'm not good enough, I know I could do all these things, but I truly believe I'm not good enough. And then you kind of think about the process you take me through, with how many other sessions it needs to transform that. What would be the powerful belief that I should walk away with?
The powerful belief that you should walk away with is that you are, capable of doing anything. And then what I would do is look for evidence in that person's life of all the things that they, thought that they couldn't achieve, but they've achieved anyway. So it's about, reaffirming those positive things that they've already done as proof of, why do you think you can't do this in the future when you've already done it in the past? So, I think that's
good. Now, audience, did you hear that? That was perfect, Megan, because the challenge that Sabrina set forth when she told us we was going to do this tonight was that she want every audience member to think about this, and you could comment on our YouTube, on the Facebook page. She wants everyone to comment one negative belief that they're ready to release, just to get people to start thinking about this and begin their transformation.
Right. We want everybody to begin their transformation. So start looking inward at a negative belief you've been telling yourself. Megan, another one.
Sure.
What if I say I'm too old?
Old? What is age?
What is
Oh, that's
I'm
a
too
good
old
one.
to
Yeah,
start
'cause
this
that's-
business,
it's part of the
Megan.
perception. Yeah.
You know, the Bible give us 120 years.
Honey! I love that. I love that. You know, the mind believes what it hears repeatedly.
Yes.
Speak life, speak purpose, and speak possibility, because transformation begins within.
Hey, I love it.
And we have to start telling ourselves those positive things.
We do.
And go see Megan and Natasha. Natasha said,
Oh.
wait a minute now.
I'm trying to retire.
Megan, give
All
us,
right,
Megan, how
Terry,
can people
thank you,
reach
Terry.
you?
Oh, okay,
How can people reach you?
You can shoot me an email if you'd like to talk. It's Megan, Megan, at saphouse, SAP as in Peter, HOUSE.org. That's Megan at saphouse.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, Facebook, YouTube, we love you. Thank you for joining. We will see you next week for some more exciting topics. Have an amazing night.
When